Okay, everybody, welcome to an all-new special Holotheatre episode. As always, I'm Dan Leon, also known as D-Tartag1. Joining me for the first time as a co-host is Mr. Garrett Larson out of his bathroom.
Actually, my living room, but you're close.
and
My wife,
then,
sorry.
and then coming to you live from the San Diego Super Open, your 2022 champion, Drew Lichtenstein.
2023.
2023. I'm sorry, I'm still a year behind apparently. Is Drew Lichtenstein? How are you doing, Drew?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling really good. Very tired. Very, very tired.
So, congratulations on your victory. You
Thanks.
played a hell of an event, and I hear that you have to get out of there really quick. Is
Yeah,
that
I got
true?
a flight. What time is it? I got my flight's on for about 4 hours, but I got to pack, get the shuttle to go to the airport. Also want to get some dinner.
Well, I
Hang
mean,
out with the guys. So
why didn't you think about that before you played in the finals?
yeah, right.
Like, you could have just passed it on to Greg or Mike. So, how does it feel winning your second major?
It feels good, man. It feels really good. I'm also very fortunate. It kind of just obviously the nature of this format, how we just cut the top two. So I was 6-2 going in, or what it would be, 7-2 going into the last round,
Mm-hmm.
and I lost, but there was no other 8-2 besides Daniel, so I actually
Mm-hmm.
got in on strength of schedule. My strength of schedule was pretty strong. I played Daniel twice, he got in first. I played Greg twice, he got in third, and I played Phil twice, and he got in fourth.
Wow.
So I had a pretty strong strength of schedule on that, but I was just obviously fortunate that no other 8-2 got there.
Mm-hmm.
I played a really bad round 10, to be honest, and so I was fortunate to have a chance of redemption in the finals.
So we know that your teammate Greg Shaw said earlier this year that the new allies are going to win a major this year, and I think the quote was "new year, new meta, or new allies," or something
Greg
along that
Shaw
side.
calling the shot. Yeah,
Um,
for that quote.
so you guys won the first one. How does that feel? Like, does it take
Feels
a lot of
great, and
weight off your
it's
shoulders?
absolutely a team effort. Can't really emphasize that enough. We spent an inordinate amount of time talking on Slack. And obviously this weekend, I showed up Friday morning, and we played a lot of games. We spent a lot of time talking about
Mm-hmm.
decks, rebuilding decks. Actually, roomed with Greg, and we worked together a lot to prepare for this event. So, not a chance that I do half as well as I could do if it wasn't for the team help and the whole team, everyone on the team. So I just start listing them all. I mean, obviously, Greg, Mike, Brian, Dennis are here. Charlie, Taco, Matt Lutt, Sam, uh, other Charlie. It's just everyone.
You
Everyone.
got
There's so
catch,
many people. I
not
love them
trying.
all. I love the new allies.
Yeah, you guys like
Gogolin.
like half the Star Wars field at this point.
I think we did the math, and it's like more like 20, less than 25%. But and the team's a loose affiliation at times, but when we get to major time, we do really tighten up and really try to get what we think will be the best decks together.
So speaking
Yep.
of decks, what made you decide to go to with the decks that you went with this weekend?
Yeah, so for day one, I played Anakin Saga and Bring Him Before Me. I was torn. The team makes fun of me for saying I'm locking it in all the time. I definitely changed many, many times the decks I thought I was going to play. I was pretty excited that it was a new meta. I felt like a lot of things were open. But the Anakin Saga list is something that I've been playing around with a lot
Mm-hmm.
for a good few months now, and I really like what the deck does. And it got a pretty nice boost with the new tweak set. So now your lightsaber can't be stolen, so Grievous doesn't just shut down your deck. And then obviously that new Falcon package that you can pull. So, I really tuned on that deck. I worked a lot on that deck. Teammates helped. Also chatted a little bit with Desai and MHT, who gave some good advice and how
Okay.
I kind of structured that a little bit. So that deck's just like a real pure hit and run deck. You can set up the Falcon package in space, and then you just keep running out Rey or Anakin and Jedi's Resilience. They both hold Anakin's lightsaber. So kind of like a key part of the deck is that you're playing 3 Reys, a couple handles, and 4 AJRs. So very often you're just like playing Rey turn one to dig up for whatever activation you're missing. So it's a really powerful mains platform because like
Mm-hmm.
you start 5-0, you pull Paulus Massive for 7-1, you get up to 12-1 if you hit your sights, and you have a really good chance of hitting your sights with Ray, and like 3PO comes on your 2-0. right? So there's just so much card advantage, so much card filtering, so much activation. So it's just a really, you know, stout deck, right? You can dig out your answers.
Mm-hmm.
Not a traditional mains, right? Because you don't have like highly immune guys. You're like taking oversights, but you're basically card efficiency on your opponent, right? You just keep playing Ray or Anakin. You battle, you retrieve one or two. You know, they might have like 10 deploy worth of stuff that you clear out with 4 or 5 deploy. You retrieve force and you come and do it again next turn. So that was
It
light side.
sounds a lot like the old throne room mains decks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it definitely has that vibe to it, right? I mean, it's just force denial. It's wherever you are, I'm gonna be there, right? So wherever you try to set up, I'm gonna come and battle you. So it's a real like aggressive mains platform, and it worked out really well. For Dark Side on day one, I played Bring 'Em Before Me. Um, Partly that was just because we couldn't settle on a dark. We had Thrawn built, and Greg and I worked on Thrawn a lot, and a lot. The whole team did, but we worked on Thrawn a decent amount. But I couldn't quite get to a Thrawn list that I was particularly happy with. It always felt a little clunky to me.
Mm-hmm.
I thought like a 0 to 1 icons main list like the Anakin, or if anyone wanted to play commuting would be strong against him. I thought like QC could get her foot on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up going with Bring Him. I like Bring Him. Really, there's nothing too special there, except I played the new Vader V from set, what would that be, 19. And he's really stout, right? You can upload parry to block people trying to swing sabers at him, or you can just wreck, you know, a pile of scrubs with Vader's anger.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I just thought bring him, again, kind of different than the Saga deck, because that's more of a, like, I'm going to put my thing out and start draining you and doing damage, but it's a one-icon deck. I like how in, like, an open meta, you can kind of roll with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just force denial, make your opponent have to find the answer. You know, you ask the questions, they got to find the answers. Um, and then for day two, I played Saga again, 59 in the same 60. The only card I swapped out is like a barrier for what chance do we have, because I was worried about playing Connor's Walkers, because he was also X and 1. I played Connor's Walkers in the first round and lost. So what chance did you have didn't really give me much of a chance, I guess. And then for Dark, I switched over to CCT. I like Brigham, but Brigham, one issue with Brigham is that like it just loses anything that wants to be cheesy, so like Y4O, Hidden Base,
Mm-hmm.
WAP, you know, any of those decks, it just doesn't do much against. And I wanted to roll in with something kind of solid. I also felt that the people who I'd likely be facing like the X1 area were kind of platform players. So like Connor really likes No Idea, Daniel had played QMC, you know, so CCT is just naturally very strong against those types of decks.
Yeah. And I noticed that like you really didn't play a lot. Like you said, you played against Greg twice, but outside of that, you really didn't play any of your teammates. How did that uh, feel to you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that was great. I mean, God, I played 4 people twice. So I played Connor twice, Phil twice, Greg twice, Daniel twice. Um, and so it was kind of a, you know, just all day. I just, you know, kept seeing the same people again and again, and they're
Yeah.
fantastic players. I mean, that. So I guess I played the people who got second, third, and fourth, not including finals, each of them twice, and then Daniel twice again. So it was
Wow.
just a round robin of people at the top playing each other. So yeah, I mean, obviously it was fortunate to avoid teammates. Greg and I were also really fortunate at the end of day one to have split games.
Mm-hmm.
So we were still both 5-1. Our only losses were to each other, and that obviously set up an opportunity where we could make a run. And you know, Greg got third, which is really amazing.
So
Definitely.
yeah,
So now
definitely.
you've kind of seen some of the meta. What was out there that surprised you? What was there anything
Um,
that you saw, or vice versa? Something you didn't expect to show up a lot of.
yeah. I mean, Matt Wadden and Connor Britton had real success with Rescue the Princess, which is really cool to see. I mean, that's sort of a light deck that's kind
Mm-hmm.
of been hovering, you know, as tier 3-ish, but you know, put up good results for them. Um, you know, it's just so diverse, right? So the meta is very, very diverse right now, which is both good and exciting. I mean, that's what we want, but it also makes it a little RPS, right? So you don't know what you're going to face. And I think that rewards like really tight decisions with decks that you know well, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if it's a very RPS meta, and it's possible that like a deck that you get a bad matchup, if you're like really expert in the deck that you're playing, you might be able to get an edge on percentage points, right? So if you're like a real expert on QMC and you match up QMC with CCT, like it's a bad matchup, but you know your QMC really, really well, you might be able to like figure out lines. So I wasn't expecting to be so diverse. Like the numbers were really crazy for day
Yeah.
one. You know, you have 25 people, no deck had more than 4 copies, right? And I think that was even ROPS, and Greg was playing ROPS 9s, which is not really the same thing as the other ROPS decks. Um, and so the meta seems really wide open, which is exciting, especially when people with OCS and GIMP-PC, we're not kind of congealing around a communing Shadow Collective meta or something. And so that's great. And yeah, so that's what surprised me.
So yeah, looking at the meta, like you were saying, it's really diverse, and then we have the GMPC, we have the OCS coming up. What do you like going forward for those two events?
Oh, I like a lot of stuff. Like I said, I kind of locked it in. The team made fun of me, 4 or 5 decks for each side multiple times. And so honestly, it'll be kind of fun to start playing GIMP PC and OCS and just playing different decks. Um, I've always told myself in OCS I want to sometime play 12 different decks in a month, and I think this is a meta to do it, right? This is not a meta where I'm just like, there's 2 decks for each side that I think are great, and it'd be wrong to not play those 2. I think it's like a super open meta, and I'm really looking forward to potentially playing a lot of different decks and enjoying doing that.
Awesome. Yeah, so this was the first format for an event that had the 10-game format cut to a final 2 at the very end. What was your take on that?
It was okay. It was definitely fun. It was, enjoyable that still a lot of people were, everyone was still playing in the second day. Even if you felt like you're out of the top 2, X and 3 had a payout. Probably wouldn't do it too often. I think it might, I wouldn't say deflating, but I think the top 8, the traditional top 8 format is nice. Um, 10 rounds is fun, but I think only having a final confrontation as opposed to also having that top 8 where 8 people are kind of going through that, I think would feel a little bit better. But I'm really happy we did a new thing. I think it was really nice that we tried a new format, right? Everyone knew going in, okay, this is what we're going to be. Do you want to come play this? Well, a bunch of top players did want to play it, and we tried something new, and it's something that we can consider moving forward.
Awesome. And going forward, like, what are you looking at for this year? Like, we know that the Nationals is in Minnesota,
Yeah.
Worlds is in New Jersey in October/November, and then, or no, that's
Yeah.
indoor. And then
I
Worlds
mean,
is
it's
in
certainly all
August.
OCS and PC, and I do everything online all the time. I'm gonna try to go to everyone. Probably won't be able to go to Euros, but Minnesota's tempting because New Allies has a really big Minnesota contingent, and a lot of those guys couldn't make it this time. So Charlie, Sam, Ballots, actually Dennis came out from Minnesota, which is cool. But so we didn't have, it'd be really fun to go out there. I've never been out there, see those guys. Worlds, hard to say no to Worlds. I really want to get back to Worlds. I missed top 8 in Worlds this year or last year because of a misplay in round 7, and I wanna top 8 in Worlds. To be honest, I need that as the next thing that's gonna push me to keep playing.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know we want to do like a really big interview and everything, but
yeah,
really don't want to keep you too long.
I appreciate it.
But yeah,
and I appreciate you, Dan and Garrett, and all the stuff that you guys do. I mean, it's really fantastic that we have this in the community, that you guys are here to, just do all the coverage. It's amazing. Big shout out to Joe Olson too for bringing out the camera rig so that we could have 2 streaming matches this weekend, and all the guys who did commentary, and just keeping this community so close, and it's just incredible.
So
it's been a lot of fun to kind of be involved on this side of it a little bit, doing the commentary and being able to watch your guys' games and keep on top of it.
Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, Dan definitely can find another time to do a more in-depth Holotheatre, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely do it. But I think that's why don't we say
maybe I'll have some D&D.
Sorry, Drew. Why don't we say? I'm so used to Joe being the person here at this point, but
I got a long way to go until I'm as good as he is. So
I don't know. Like, this is 2 majors. January seems to be your month. Like, you won you took down the NPC last year. Your first win this year. And was able to take down an insane.
Yeah,
field.
maybe I should just take a year break from Star Wars and come back next January. Doesn't sound that bad either, to be honest.
I won't say that you should do that. But I mean, I know that your teammates would be so disappointed if you decided to do that.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk. So,
But
Thank
yeah,
you.
thank you for joining us.
all right. Good night, guys.
Act.
So, but yeah, thank you, Drew, for joining us for that interview. And thank you, Garrett, for joining us on Holotheatre for the first time. We'll have to have you on as another co-host again. And
For sure. We'll have
definitely,
to time to talk about nationals too. I'll use the last little bit of pulpit I have to talk about it. One more time. Next big event, nationals in Minnesota,
yeah,
end of March, March 31st, April 1st, April 2nd. Should be a good time. Like you heard Drew say, lots of new allies live here, so we'll
Too
get a
many.
lot of good players, a lot of good Star Wars to be played, a lot of fun to be had. So all the new allies guys, fun to be had. They're all good people. They're all good to hang out with. So be a good time.
And it looks like Robbie Hendon is joining us for the last little bit of the show. Robbie, thank you so much for doing everything that you did out there this weekend. You took the brunt of the streaming duties out there. Nicely done.
Thank you. I mean, somebody's got to do it, and for the most part, I can make computers do anything. The lights and camera stuff, not so much, but it's not so bad. So it's
I
less
thought
stressful than playing for sure.
It depends. I mean, the last time you played, you top 8 a Worlds, so.
I got lucky. I still stand by I got lucky. Well,
if you
like,
say so.
I mean, one of my opponents is literally on this, show, and he had some pretty poor draws in our game.
that
And
was a rough
I mean,
game.
Who
yeah, it
was
was.
that?
And I mean, I didn't have amazing draws, but I had much better than yours and was able to capitalize on it. But
That was my Shadow Collective versus Robbie's WAP, and I got 2 characters total in
like the first 3
almost
turns.
a third of my deck. I literally activated and drew, and ended up having to take a chance at the audience chamber with, I think, Chalk and an ability 2 character. Like I didn't even get full ability in 25 cards. It was
it was really bad. The only thing that I had bad luck on was being able to get into space on turn 2 like I had planned when I tunnel visioned. I whiffed on the ship, and that was it. Other than that, I had characters and stuff to keep playing. So
yeah, my deck just
like I said, sometimes luck is on your side. So
Yeah.
it happened. It was a fun game.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for all you did out there this weekend. Like being able to, kind of joking, but activating the Robbie signal to when we had questions about what was going on, when things were happening out there. Super, super beneficial. And, we've talked about it a couple times on the streams today. And, the PC runs on our volunteers. Like
Yes.
without you, without Dan, without our newest Chris,
You
none
guys
of
would
this
be fine without me.
and you are the pretty face for all of us.
No,
That's why we have you here.
like
No one see me and Robbie on stream all the time.
Well, I wasn't on stream very much, but no, I mean, there was a lot going on here that it would have been really hard for me to be able to manage the stream like you were doing, Dan, yesterday and today, and getting things updated. It would have been really, really stressful for me to have to do that too. It was kind of hard enough to just be kind of like that producer role that I was trying to set up for us. Like, I think we found out that having these wireless headsets to be able to have like a producer on site is very helpful to be able to give information and, updates, get interviews set up and that kind of stuff. And so I think every event that we do, we learn something that we can do better, and we find new tricks to help improve the stream quality. And we're getting better and better and better at doing this to where it's actually going to be amazing content for probably the rest of our time doing this now. Like, it's we're really putting a lot of work into it, and I think it shows.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely does. And the anyone who's watching this, if you've got experience in this, is we can even exceed and push even more. Like we've had Brandon helping us with lighting and stuff, things we just didn't know up to this point. And there's just so much that goes into putting this all together, and everybody just works so hard.
Yeah. And like Brandon wasn't here this weekend, and Matt Thornton helped me with the lights and stuff because, like I said, that's not my cup of tea. I could get computers set up and get Discord and Zoom and TeamViewer and all that kind of stuff set up, but there were a couple times this weekend where we were kind of pressed for time that I just didn't have time to go in and get things set up properly. But we learn, we make adjustments for the next time, and we add to what we know, and we write up documents, and we get everything done. And like you said, we always are willing to have people on and do commentary. We've got lots of experience in getting people up. I mean, Garrett, yourself, you were fairly new this year to joining in a lot more with us, and we got Dan and I were able to help get you up to speed really quickly. Pistone has gotten on here a lot more and participating, and this was Carl's first time to do it, so we're adding more and more people to commentary. We don't have a problem getting people in if we can, if you guys want to. You just have to ask us and say, hey, this is what I want to do, just like almost anything else. And if you put in the time and effort, we'll more than happy welcome you in to get you set up for whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the Bill Belichick line, almost the best ability is availability.
Yep.
You're here and you want to help, and you know anything, willing to say, hey, I want to help. Tell me what to do. Like, I've been starting to do a lot of the commentary because it's fun. But yeah, Dan and Robbie have been huge in helping me set it up because I'm I'm not the brightest computer guy. Like, that's what Robbie's here for.
I mean, literally, it's my job. I think Dan does it as well. So this is what we do, and we've been streaming a long time too. I mean, Dan's been doing Holotheatre what 3-4 years now.
This is 4-year.
Yeah. So, I mean, all of that plays into, we've got the experience and guides and can get it all done. So,
definitely. Well, thank you very much for your time, Robbie. Thank you for everything you did this weekend. I know we let Drew go quick so he could go get some food and get packed. I know you've got stuff to...
Yep, I gotta pack up and get everything organized and cleaned up. So we got a night of board games ready waiting for us. So
yeah, enjoy your board games and other stuff.
Yep, 100%. So, all right, guys, I'll sign off from here. Like I said, thank you for all y'all did. And I guess this is the San Diego Super Open signing off.
Yep. And this is going to be Holotheatre signing off for the evening. Everybody take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, whatever you guys got left. We'll be back this Tuesday with Matthew Harrison Trainer. So make sure you guys tune into that. And, yeah. Everybody take care and enjoy yourself. Thank you, Garrett. Take care. And,
you as well. Have a good night.
And may the force be with you.
May the force be with you.